Welcome into the In the Money podcast for KeenelandSelect.com. Tom Leach along with Jim Goodman, Keeneland's director of simulcasting. Big day at Arlington Park in Chicago. It's Million Day. 5 stakes races. They have an all-stakes pick 5, an all-stakes pick 4. And we're going to start taking a look at the graded stakes with the 6th, the grade 3 pucker up for 3-year-old fillies on the turf. All of these races on the grass. This one's about 1.1 miles. Nice big field here. Who'd you like, Jim?
Yeah, I'm glad Arlington kept this card too. I mean, their fields have been awfully light up there, but this is a nice card today. So hopefully everybody will play Arlington, and their handle figures will reflect the quality of this card. I had a hard time picking between some really nice fillies here, and I wound up settling on Prado's Sweet Ride for Chris Block, and I kind of like the hometown angle. I think Chris was probably pointing to this race when he ran her in the Regret, and she was 9-1. I don't know that they expected to win that race, but she ran really well at 1.8 miles, set her up really well for this race. That was on June 13th. I think she's got a big shot at a nice price at 6-1. Miss Chatelaine for Clement. They took a shot to Belmont Oaks, a grade 1 last time out, and just really got outrun early and finished up. Only got beat 5 lengths by Lady Eli, and then go back the next race back and got beat 3 lengths by Lady Eli. She'd be 1-9 in here. So Miss Chatelaine has a real shot. And Walking the Kitten is my third choice for the Ramseys. They always seem to jump up and run big on big days. He likes to be in the winner's circle. So I think she's got a shot at 8-1 for Mike Maker. Needs to step up her buyers, and they took her to Canterbury last time out. She didn't really run that well, but I think she's got a shot here. Chocolate is also intriguing to me. First time on turf. She ran the Indiana Oaks last time and was actually almost the favorite coming off a good Black-Eyed Susan run, but they're going to try her on the turf, so that might be interesting. But Prado's Sweet Ride is my pick in the pucker up.
I ended up going to Return for Grace here. I like the work pattern. Cassie, off that really impressive win at Churchill, ran well at Keeneland against a good horse from Keira McLaughlin, went down to Churchill and won, put her in the Regret, and she ran well, but lost out to Prado's Sweet Ride. I think with the extra time, still improving, that she could maybe get the job done at a little bit of a price. I thought it was interesting, too, that Cassie will ship in on these big days. This is the only one that he has here, so it's not like she was tagging along with somebody else. So I'm going to take Return to Grace to win the pucker up. Then I'm going to use her with several of the ones you mentioned, Prado Sweet Ride, Miss Chatelaine, and Chocolate. And that one really intrigues me. I think that's a really nice filly. Question mark on grass, but pedigree-wise, she should be okay there. So in multi-race wagers, I like Return to Grace a lot. I'd probably throw in Chocolate just in case she's as good or better on grass as she is on dirt. 7th race is the St. Leger for 3-year-olds and up, 1.11 miles. I end up going with one of the Euros here, Lucky Speed, second off a long layoff. This one's kept good company. And for these marathons, always tend to lean to the Europeans. But it's not really a strong European contingent, to be honest. But I'm going to take Lucky Speed and then use Hyper, Calvados, and Roman Approval in exactas with Lucky Speed. How about you?
I took those 3 below you. I didn't put Lucky Speed in there. I think he's obviously got a shot here, but it's a very well matched field and not really strong. I'm assuming the Pizza Man is going to go in the Million.
That's what I was assuming too.
Yeah, if he was going here, he's going to be a big favorite if he sticks in this race. But I'm assuming he's going to go in the Million. So I'm going to go with a couple of horses that ran against him in the Stars and Stripes, Calvados and Roman Approval. And you can't really make much difference. Roman Approval is going to go the lead, so I don't know if he can hold that for 1.11 miles. It's kind of an odd distance there. They went 1.5 miles last time out. So Roman Approval and Calvados are my picks on top. I'd also use them with Hyper, the 7-horse coming out of the Singspiel at Woodbine, ran really well up there. Got beat by Aldo Snow, which is a nice horse. And then back earlier, class races in the Manhattan and Man of War. So Hyper would be my third choice here. So Roman Approval, Hyper, and Calvados tonight.
Let's move to the 8th race. It's the Grade 1 Secretariat, first of 3 straight Grade 1s for 3-year-olds on the turf at 1.25 miles. Nice group here, Jim. How'd you see it?
Yeah, you can't say the Euros are not any good in this race. I think these Euros are tough. And when I first handicapped this race, I looked at Force to Pass because he was so impressive in the Belmont Derby and won off easily in that race at 10-1. But I think he might be biting off a little more than he can chew here with these 3 Euros coming in. Goldstream from Italy is 5 for 5, and you don't know how good he is. And War Dispatch on the outside has run in Group 1s in France. So, but the pick is Highland Reel. I think Highland Reel comes in here for Aidan O'Brien, and he doesn't chip a little here for fun. And this horse has been outstanding and is a Group 1 runner-up in France and has won 3 races. I think Highland Reel here looks like a standout to me. But Force the Pass might have a shot at a price. 2 to 1, I don't think, there's no way I'd bet him at 2 to 1 against these horses. But Goldstream, again, you don't know how good he is. But Highland Reel is my pick. I would key him on top with the 7 War Dispatch, the 3 Goldstream, and the 2 Force the Pass.
Like you, I would not take 2 to 1 on Force the Pass against this group, but I will take 10 to 1 on Granny's Kitten, who going into the Belmont Derby I thought was right there with him out of their races in the Penn Mile, and Granny's Kitten's 10 to 1 on the morning line, and that's seducing me here. So I'm going to take a shot with Granny's Kitten, and at 10 to 1, if he could even run second to one of the Euros, could be a decent exacta. So I like Granny's Kitten in here. I think the race in the Penn Mile got in trouble in that race, but really finished strong, and on the gallop out looked like he was even stronger. And I'm going to use him with Force the Pass, but also with Goldstream and with Highland Reel. And if one of those 2 wins it, which I think is certainly quite likely, get Granny's Kitten up for second at a nice price would be just fine. 9th race is the Beverly D, Grade 1. Fillies and Mares 3 and up on the turf at a mile and 3/16. I like a Euro here, Wedding Vow. It's hard to think that one of the Euros won't win this. This is a Coolmore, Aidan O'Brien, second in a Group 1 last time. Powerful connections. It's a 3-year-old, but a 3-year-old won this one last year. In fact, she's back in it, Euro Charlene, back as a 4-year-old. She's going to be really hard to beat in here. Secret Gestures. I think good chance one of those 3 wins it, but I'm going to lean to Wedding Vow. I'm going to use her with Euro Charlene, Secret Gesture, Carla Bianca, another Euro that's lesser regarded. Going to probably throw in one exacta with Wedding Vow and Stephanie's Kitten just on back class. She had that horrible pace where her rabbit screwed up 2 starts back. Thought she'd bounce back and run better, and fig-wise she did at Saratoga, but it's been hard to run from way back there. So maybe I'll give her a pass and just she's got the back class to be there on her best days. So if she's a big decent price, I'd have to maybe include her in multi-race wagers too. But Wedding Vow's the pick for me in the Beverly D. How about you?
And I went with Euro Charlene, the horse that comes, the filly that came off the win last year in the Beverly D. And I looked at, she's only run 2 races this year. That kind of worries me a little bit. But she ran okay in Dubai and came back and finished up well at Newmarket. Take her just barely over Wedding Vow. The 9, Stephanie's Kitten, I think, ran really well against kind of a bias at Saratoga. She was 17 lengths out of it with a half mile to go and wound up getting beat by 3 by Hard Not to Like and Tepin. So there's no disgrace there. So I will give her a pass. I think she got a real shot here. She's the only American I think that does. But I would box those 3 in the trifecta.
Yeah, I think that it's not a bad way to go. 10th race, the Grade 1 Arlington Million. Wraps up the big day in Chicago. 3-year-olds set up on the turf at a 1.25 miles. And I thought this was a pretty well-matched group. Who'd you go with?
Well, I know who you're going to pick.
No, I'm not going to pick him. I got out on him at Belmont, so I'm not going with Slumber here.
Okay, I marked this up, and I said, well, Tom's going to pick Slumber, so I can't pick Slumber. That's not really true. I could have picked him. I had a hard time not picking Slumber in here, but I went with Big Blue Kitten. Big Blue Kitten did outfinish Slumber in the United Nations, and that you did well with him at Belmont, but I think you'd have done better if you'd have won at United Nations, if I remember correctly. So Big Blue Kitten ran him down. Really going well right now, and I think he's got a shot. I mean, he's got 8 straight buyers over 100, so you can't get much more consistent than that. The Million is a big race, and it's even though it's a Grade 1, and he's won a Grade 1, and he's finished second in Grade 1. So I think Big Blue Kitten is up to the task here. I would key Slumber second. Behind him in triple threat, the 10 is really had a nice race at Monmouth. First time North America, and he won for Mott. So he's got a big shot in here as well. So that's my 3 top choices. Big Blue Kitten, the 4, on top of the 2 and 10 with everything. So I think the Million, you could have a price in the 3rd spot and possibly the 2nd spot. The Big Blue Kitten is my pick.
I'm going to go with a price in here, Wake Forest, and my thinking was that Slumber and Big Blue Kitten, solid low triple-digit buyers, but I just have the feeling that there's no real star among the American group, and I've seen so often these Europeans come over and coming out of tough company overseas. This horse has been running in very good company, Group 1, 2, or 3 races. This trainer, when he comes in from Germany for these kinds of spots, his horses often run well. And Wake Forest is 12-1, number 5 horse, 6 wins out of 10 starts, 4 for 6 at 1.25 miles. And at 12-1, I just thought that was intriguing to play around with. So I'm going to key Wake Forest, small win bet there, and then key them in exactas and use Slumber and Big Blue Kitten, but also Triple Threat and Maverick Wave for the always dangerous John Gosden. And I would use as many of those as you can in the multi-race wagers. For the Weekend Warrior blog at Keeneland Select, I did a pick 5 and a pick 4, and those all stakes. And I ended up going. I tossed out the locals or the U.S. horses, Slumber and Big Blue Kitten, to keep the ticket manageable. But I would really not feel too comfortable doing that. I'd like to have all 5 of those still alive going into the end of a pick 4 or end of a pick 5. I ended up singling Lucky Speed for the multi-race wagers and trying to take a stand there in the St. Ledger. Best of luck with all your wagers this weekend. Remember, simulcast wagering is at the Red Mile now, although folks should know, Jim, that it's going to be available at Keeneland during the sales next month, right?
Well, only in the sales pavilion.
Only in the pavilion.
Self-serves.
Okay.
Yes, it is. But if you're attending the sales, and of course the sales are open to the public, if you're familiar with the sales pavilion, the self-serves will be available in the Northern Dancer Bar.
There you go.
And so it's limited, but we will have all the tracks that are running normally during the day. So our main simulcasting, of course, is at the Red Mile, and Arlington Million Day is going to be big over here. The parking is getting better every day. I was going to say,
more parking now, right?
Yes, more paved parking. we had parking before, but it was a little rough, and now we've got probably 300 new paved spots, and it's still a little bit of an adventure getting into the track. You still got to come around by the track side. Probably in a few weeks, we're going to have the instant racing open one of these days, and you'll be able to pull right up and go in the instant racing and go right up to the 2nd floor. So that's coming along very well. So it's an exciting time here at the Red Mile, and of course, Keeneland, if you've seen the construction out there, it's the exciting time as well. It looks like we've extended the grandstand all the way to Bluegrass Field, if you've
yes,
seen the construction. So it's amazing. But it's a big time in the Bluegrass for horse racing, and we hope you come out to the Red Mile to see us either this weekend or next weekend or in a couple weeks for the Travers.
There we go. Best of luck with your wagers this weekend. Keep your Keeneland Select account funded so you can always take advantage. Remember the mobile app as well. For Jim Goodman, I'm Tom Leach, and this has been the In the Money podcast for KeenelandSelect.com.